Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I want to talk to you about an incredibly brave woman who shared her journey with depression and recovery. And I'm going to put a link to this article in the description for the video. I battled depression while working in big tech. Opening up about my mental illness to colleagues made me realize I wasn't alone. I still remember how mortified I felt the day I pushed across to my boss, the head of editorial at one of the Bay Area's most ubiquitous big tech companies, on his stiff red office couch. With sweaty palms and trembling knees, I asked him to grant me a 1-month medical leave because my depression had become unbearable. "But what does that mean?" he asked. "Can you tell me more?" I struggled to find the words. It's hard to explain. Eventually I said, "I just don't have any energy to do anything. I'm drained all the time, physically, and nothing feels good to me. I hate myself. I only get out of bed to come to work." A few months earlier, in the fall of 2016, I'd returned home to San Francisco after a disastrous stint in Panama, where I'd spent the past year trying to open a journalism school in a jungle eco community. I was 31 years old and had worked as an editor in a high-octane newsroom for most of my adult life, and I thought I could outrun my blossoming depression by chasing my bliss to the equator. Instead, my mental illness reached a crescendo, and I ended up on a one-way flight back to the States at the advice of a kind stranger on the other end of a suicide hotline. Wow. At work, I channeled every shred of my eager cognitive energy into completing my tasks satisfactorily, and to anyone else, it seemed like I was doing just fine in my role. The rest of the time, I hid under the covers or drank to the point of blacking out, the two fastest shortcuts to escaping my own mind. Looks like she did some therapy. She did some outpatient therapy. The outpatient program didn't end up helping me much. Neither did transcranial magnetic stimulation therapy, which my health insurance covered, or ketamine infusions, which I paid for out of pocket but received on company time. After a year and a half of trudging through life at a bare minimum, I decided to try residential rehab. I found a facility that took big tech health insurance, and off I went. Against all odds, rehab ended up being the antidote I needed. 2 years flattened by severe depression meant drugs and alcohol had become my favorite coping mechanism outside of languishing in bed. With a clean and sober mind, for the first time in my adult life, I had a fighting chance of treating my condition in earnest. Okay, I'll let you read the article for yourself, but you get the point. I mean, and I think I've sort of waxed poetic about it at this point, but when you're dealing with a behavioral health issue, I mean, and typically substance use and mental illness go together. I mean, it's like a hand in a glove. It's just a matter of which came first. And really, at this point, it doesn't matter. The point being, she tried to do outpatient therapy, and it didn't work. She tried other modalities, and they didn't work. What worked was residential treatment, okay? And residential treatment is typically the first part of any recovery program. 3 to 6 months of residential or partial hospitalization. And when families call me and they say, "Well, I just want to put him in outpatient therapy," I say to them, "Look, hold on a second. Outpatient therapy is at the end of the recovery journey, not the beginning." And it's just my experience that if you're going to insist that your loved one only go to outpatient therapy, honestly, I think you're probably wasting your time and money. I mean, I'm just going to be blunt with you. I'm not going to, I never sugarcoat this stuff. I hope I always come from a place of love. But at the end of the day, outpatient therapy is a Band-Aid on something that needs major surgery. And I think this is a prime example. And I'm so grateful for this young lady sharing her journey, because she's incredibly brave to share it. But I think she's doing so she feels like she can help some other people, right? That's why we share our journeys. And so, look, if you have a loved one who's dealing with this kind of issue, we'd like to talk to you. I'd be interested to hear what your experiences are. Have you been through treatment for, a severe depression? What did you think? How long did it take? What does recovery look like? What do you do to maintain recovery every single day of your life? Let me know it in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. And if you're a family out there and you want to talk to us about what options may or may not be available, legal and non-legal, we'd certainly like to talk to you, so feel free to reach out to us. If you're seeing an issue in your family I haven't made a video about, let me know. I'll post a video, because if it's affecting your family, it's probably affecting somebody else's. And if you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want more of this content that I put out every day for you, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.